Today we're taking a look at the Adidas Adios 4 versus the New Balance 890 V7. 4.39 miles, 8 minutes, 47 seconds per mile today in the Adidas Adios 4. Just trying to reacclimate myself with the shoe since it's been a while since I've been able to put some miles into it. I'm at the end of a 70-mile week, and so I'm trying to take it just nice and easy after a 15-miler with my running buddy yesterday. And I just wanted to make sure that I was familiar again with this shoe so that I can make the comparison against the New Balance 890 V7. Because I think that if you're looking at either one of these shoes, you probably should be taking a look, if you're not already, at the other. Now, before I get to my thoughts on these two shoes, I want to go over the disclosures. Both of these shoes were sent to me by Roadrunner Sports for the purposes of review. However, no money's been exchanged. Roadrunner Sports doesn't pay me to make reviews. New Balance, Adidas, they haven't paid me to make reviews. No one's going to have any editorial input or control into what goes into this video, and no one's going to be able to get a chance to preview it until you guys get a chance to see it on YouTube. Now, with the disclosures out of the way, let's get into my thoughts on these two shoes. Now, both of these shoes are road racing shoes. I think that there are probably other shoes in the New Balance line that may be considered faster or more appropriate for road racing, but I feel like these two go head to head pretty closely. Both of these shoes, I think, are either road racing shoes for longer distances, like the half marathon or even the marathon. If not road racers, I think they're really great fast day shoes. So your up-tempo days, your interval days, those kinds of workouts, when you look for something a little bit extra compared to your daily trainer, each of these shoes is going to do really well. And each of these shoes makes the same trade-off of speed for comfort. So neither of these shoes is the most plush shoe. You're not going to be able to use this for those low and slow days, either of these shoes. But for those days when you want to pick up the paces a little bit, these are two shoes that are going to be good choices for you to be reaching for. And as a bit of background, I do have 100 miles in each of these shoes, which is a little bit unusual for when I do a head-to-head comparison, but I think that it's pretty close in terms of the mileage on each of these shoes. Now on to the differences. The two major differences that I'll discuss are the approaches in the uppers and in the midsoles. Now in the upper, in the Adidas Adios 4, it's a fantastic upper, one of my favorite uppers. It's made of more traditional mesh type materials, and it fits very snugly. There's a ton of eyelets on this shoe, 7 eyelets, lots of lacing. Everything snugs down very securely. I feel like this shoe is an extension of my foot, just like a sock with a little bit of boost on the bottom. In contrast, the upper on the New Balance 890 V7 has the knit material, which is also going for that sock-like feel, but the overall sensation I get with this shoe is that there's a lot more room. And I don't know if it's just with the sizing or with the flexibility of the knit material. And I have been really enjoying New Balance's knit material. But overall, when comparing these two, this shoe feels snug, if not a bit tight on the foot. This shoe is very different from a lot of running shoes that I run in that it seems a little bit loose. Now, that doesn't mean that while running, you're gonna feel like this is an unstable shoe or that you don't have as much control in the shoe. Both shoes feel really great on foot, especially when at speed. But if you are someone who has a little bit of a wider foot, or if you feel like running shoes have just been too tight lately, this is something that I would highly recommend that you give a try. Now on to the differences in the midsoles. Now the midsole technology, there are different. You've got Revlite foam in the 890 V7, and you've got a thin layer of boost in the Adios 4, and I just absolutely love the thin layer of boost in the Adios 4. I've run in the Ultraboost Parley from last year, and I felt like that was just a bit too mushy. This goes the opposite way, where just that thin layer of boost provides a great amount of spring when you're hitting the ground, but also this shoe overall gives you a very minimalistic feeling when you're running on the roads. I can definitely feel like I'm connected to the road when I'm on this shoe. Almost to a fault though, and here's what I'll say about this shoe, is that it really rewards you, if not punishes you, for not being just in the midfoot to the forefoot of this shoe. So you're gonna spend most of your time on this shoe, and you're gonna get a lot of kind of torsion in the foot as you're landing, which is a good thing if you're looking for that very minimalistic feel, or if you're looking for more road feel. It wasn't distracting to me in any of my running, but it is something that I noticed over time when I started putting more miles in this shoe. The approach on this shoe is a little bit different, whereas the Adidas Adios 4 seemed to be one to connect you to the road, this wants to insulate you from it. And so even though this foam is very stiff in an effort to kind of maintain your speed as you're trying to run faster, I feel like this midsole is like one giant platform. And so when you strike the ground, you kind of feel that your foot has touched the ground, not your forefoot or your midfoot. So I feel like you're a lot more disconnected from the road surface, which may be a good thing for you. So depending on your preferences and what you're looking for, each of these two shoes provides a little bit of a different approach to a faster day road shoe. The other thing is, when it comes to those times when you're feeling a little bit more tired, or if you're trying to get a little bit more range out of your running shoes, this shoe doesn't really like it when you're on the heels of the shoe. The stiffness of that foam really comes through. I felt it a little bit in the back of my heels when I was trying to go a little bit slower in it. The Adios 4 though almost seems, even though there's a lot of boost in the back here, it almost seems to punish you for being back in the heel. It really wants you to be in that midfoot area. If you're doing more of a heel toe strike in the Adios 4, it feels like the boost that's in the midsole doesn't feel like it's enough boost. It doesn't feel like it's doing its job properly, and the shoe feels a little bit flat when you are in heel toe mode. But when you're in the midfoot to forefoot and striking it in that way, that's when the boost really shines. And even though it's a very thin layer, it does a very good job there. The Adios 4 is definitely designed to be a road racer first and kind of a trainer second. So all these decisions and a lot of these features make a lot of sense to me. But in terms of durability, longevity, and versatility, I think you're gonna get a little bit more range out of the 890 V7. So ultimately, in terms of which one is better, I'd prefer to race in the Adios 4, but for working out or living with it on a little bit more of a wider range of situations than racing, I think the 890 V7 is a very solid choice, and I'd probably reach for that. But ultimately, it might not make sense to have both of these in your closet because the use cases overlap significantly, and ultimately the decision of which one is the right one for you is going to depend on exactly what you're looking for. Those are my thoughts on the 890 V7 versus the Adidas Adios 4. Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions. I'd love to talk to you guys down there. Before I go, I want to remind you guys about the charity runner for the week. It's Albert Wu, who's going to be running the 2019 American Heart Association run on Wall Street. I'll post links in the description in case you'd like to learn more. But that's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks so much for making it to the end of the video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yo, what's going on?